America, fuck yeah, coming your way to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America, fuck yeah. I'm not gonna complete the rest of that song, but it's still playing in the back of my head every time we get a little bit of Stars and Stripes. And God, with the name of this chapter, In the Nick of Time, a big time Maverick from the West. Which, I love that, Maverick. It feels like a Top Gun reference. But I was also interested to see All for One sitting in his chair like a boss, and it was the same chair that he was bound in not long ago, mostly because it had the equipment that he would need to basically live. And he's just sitting down, chilling in a cave, Nomu all around him, dick out. No, I'm kidding. But he's actually talking with Spinner, which actually kind of took me off guard. And I don't know about you, but Spinner in a few shots of this chapter looked a little weird. I don't know, maybe it's just because we haven't seen him in a while, but he looked a little off. But I feel like Horikoshi might have changed up his art style with Spinner. And Spinner, he's actually asking All for One a few questions. And this is an interaction I never thought we would have. Like, a one-on-one with Spinner and All for One? Like, what? What? But there's a purpose behind this. Now, whereas Spinner gets to ask All for One most of the questions about what his objective actually is here, why he hasn't decided to just up and leave Japan, go out to the rest of the world, as it turns out, All for One is still playing the game. In fact, as he puts it, obtaining one for all is the mid-game goal. That's only the halfway point of his plans. And All for One says he has a lifelong goal. And part of that plan is both the greatest obstacle and the ultimate opportunity. But he goes on to say what we've basically kind of sussed out from last chapter, but he puts it in plain English, or Japanese, whatever, that he has allies all around the globe, and while All Might might have gotten pretty much rid of organized crime, at least on the surface, in Japan, other nations not so much. There's probably still an ongoing battle. Honestly, I feel almost like that's a commentary on the crime rates in different countries, and Japan tends to have a lower end of crime, but it has a lot of social, political, social, economical challenges and stuff like that. But a lot of more violent crimes don't really happen too much in Japan. Doesn't mean that they don't happen, though. And so All for One, who has been the mastermind behind a lot of these organizations, as long as he gives them the go-ahead to start basically wreaking havoc, a lot of these other countries aren't really going to be able to give aid to someplace like Japan. Like, even last chapter when we had that UN meeting with all the world leaders, they were saying, yeah, we don't know if we can actually send over our heroes, and if we send over too many, that gives an opportunity for the bad guys. Makes a lot of sense. But the opportunity slash obstacle of his is, and he puts it, and I love this, the strongest woman around. The hero who reigns supreme in the land of the free, the home of heroes. Oof, that hyping up of America is something else. But it's true, and because Horikoshi is such a lover of Marvel comics, despite the fact that there are a lot of DC influences in this comic, but he's a lover of Marvel comics and stuff like that. And, you know, in Marvel Comics and even in DC Comics, heroes are overflowing in America. And at the top lies Stars and Stripes, who he, as he puts it, she can shrug off cheap and petty tricks and tactics. So apparently she is the realist. She is not just another hero, she is the hero. Like, next to All Might, the world over, you had All Might, then you had Stars and Stripes. That's how that shit worked. And the fact that All for One is determined to get her quirk kinda has me a little hyped. Like, man, what's her power that he's basically busting a nut over it? Because as he puts it, if he gets her quirk, the rest of this war is a formality. Like, apparently he wins. He gets her quirk, he wins. It's the instant win. Easy mode for the rest of the battle. Like, yo, what is her power? What could possibly be her ability that she would just be this fierce entity? I'm so kind of hyped for this. Meanwhile, the reasoning behind the presence of Spinner lies simply on the fact that, well, he's one of those people who is known as a heteromorph, someone whose quirk also altered their physical appearance. And I love how he takes Spinner's name and gives it bigger meaning, and that he will use Spinner as someone who spins a tale about his life, about how, some people have actually taken Spinner as a bit of a role model and have sympathized with him, seen him as a kind of avatar of the people who feel discriminated against because they look beyond normal. They look abnormal, I should say. And some has seen his allying with the League of Villains and this, that, and the other as, oh yes, this is what we should be doing as well. Finally rising up against those who discriminate against us, who see us and immediately see us as villains, despite the fact that we are normal people just trying to live our lives. It's something that has come up here and there in My Hero, but it's never been fully addressed, and I hope Horikoshi actually goes somewhere with this. And that's also why, in the paranormal liberation front, a lot of the more abnormal looking members were placed under Spinner. And I also gotta give it to Skeptic, because he has been a great driving force of rewriting information left, right, and center. He spins a great tale, making Himikitoga seem like a tragic figure. And while he might not like the League of Villains, which he's made very clear to a certain extent, they have this presence that really suits the needs and the ends of the League of Villains. He's essentially, with a lot of what he's been writing and putting out there for the public to digest and alter their perceptions, because, news only gets so far with the way that Japan is currently within this story. So with Skeptic basically writing the narrative, he can make the various members of the League of Villains look like these shining lights, these beacons for humanity. Make it seem like they were in the right all along. They were just trying to fight back against the norm that has oppressed them, basically. It's a very fascinating commentary, let's be honest. And essentially, the idea for the Paranormal Liberation Front is essentially to use the destruction that the League of Villains sweeps across the whole of Japan to basically reinvent things left, right, and center and build the future that they want. It's a fairly ingenious plan. Let's be honest, a lot of activists say tear down what doesn't work and rebuild it right, but that doesn't always mean the people that rebuild it will have the best interests of the people in mind. Power corrupts absolutely, and some people will take whatever advantage they can in order to live the good life. So I feel a certain special kind of way about all that. Meanwhile, with Hawk's Best Genius and Endeavor, they received word about Star and Stripes heading their way, and they're grateful for the backup, feeling like this might be a golden opportunity for things to get better. Unfortunately, they receive word from Sukauchi that someone has gone out to intercept Star and Stripe, and that person is none other than Tomura Shigaraki. Now, I will say I love the way that Star and Stripes just kind of greets this opposition with a bit of a cheerful smile, like, man, you must have a lot of free time to be able to come out and greet me. And then she just has the intensest glare. It's just like, are you all for one? Like, she's just ready to beat that ass depending on what he says. And Shigaraki, who I feel he's still kind of reeling from the fact that All For One kind of took control of him back before, so he puts it as, that's a good question. What exactly am I? So it's interesting that he's asking that. Like, is it that he's wondering if he's a pawn, a patsy, a tool simply to be used for All for One? Is he the next great demon lord? Will he be the true successor of All for One? Now that he's taken back the stage and all that, like, what is Tomura Shigaraki currently? What is he going forward? Like, that, a lot of good solid questions in that. And I hope to get the answers. But one thing I really am hoping for, and please, 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 Horikoshi, please, don't kill Stars and Stripes. Don't kill her, man. Maybe a little injured, but don't kill her. 'Cause, like, seriously, a badass female looking jacked as all shit. Like, she my type and everything. Like, my goodness, my golly damn jeez. I would salute that Stars and Stripes every morning, evening, and night, if you know what I mean. Yes, I'm being gross, sorry. But seriously, though I will say, certain angles that Horikoshi draws her from look a little awkward, and sometimes her collar looks a little bit off-putting depending on the way that you look at it from. And in certain shots, her muscle mass, I don't know, it just looks a little off. But a lot of that can also come from the fact that Horikoshi has only just started drawing this character, so he might not be fully used to how he wants this character to look. But the one shot that we got of her from like straight dead on, she looks beautiful. Like, man, like just the right amount of muscle definition. She got them titty muscles. I'm sorry, but it's just like her pecs are just like, they're defined like someone who is a bodybuilder, not just a chick with like muscles and titties, but like an actual woman who works out very regularly, like a female bodybuilder, full on. Like, props to Horikoshi, because we don't normally get stuff like that where you can actually tell that this is like essentially a female bodybuilder. So I'm kind of digging her, and I'm kind of digging her design, and like she could just kind of take that All Might niche that I've been missing with the color scheme. Well, I shouldn't say color scheme, the heavy inks that are kind of defining the way that she looks. Because Horikoshi has always given All Might those definitions that are very comic book-esque. And I'm deeply interested in the way that it's being portrayed for Star and Stripes. It's been deeply fascinating. And I don't want this character to just up and poof within the next couple of chapters, kind of like Lady Nagantu. Also, just, something about that look. Like, Horikoshi has been just cranking out really gorgeous looking women for the past, like, 50 chapters or so. Almost to make up for what happened to Midnight. 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 Ugh. Sadness, but I mean, jeez, don't kill her, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. I want to keep seeing this badass looking character. I want to see what she can do to the fullest. I want her to team up with Izuku and they become partners and fight together and stuff like that. Oh, that could be so awesome. It could be so awesome. Oh, that would be an amazing team up. Like, I'm just headcanoning about so much cool stuff we could see from them teaming up and fighting the good fight together. But it really is hard to say where this is gonna go. And Horikoshi been on that dark shit for a while. And having that light chapter a few chapters back, it's just like he's ready to plunge us into despair again. So we'll see what happens going forward. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Star and Stripe will be able to make it out of this battle okay? Will she actually get a team up with Deku? Are you interested in that? Or are you just ready to see Shigaraki murder some more? Like, his body count's already been pretty big. What's one more? Although All for One still wants her quirk too, so it's just like either she dies or gets her quirk stolen. Like that's the two avenues, the worst case scenarios at this point. But if having her power really sets him over the edge that much, we really don't need him having that power. Because then it's just like, no, don't make him too unbeatable, but having Star and Stripe on the good guy side, and that kind of evening the playing field a little bit would be awesome. Although having an American be the one to bail Japan out of their time of need and desperation, I don't know how well that'll go over. Oof. Ooh, that raises some questions. So let me know your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. If you like this video, please drop me a like, subscribe, bell, comment, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.